Hello my friends, Bearsky here. Today I'll be showing you 49 true Roblox VR experiences that you can play on the Quest 2. Yeah, that's right, 49 of them. If you've been following my channel, you will see a lot of experiences that I already covered. But I also found a handful of new ones, including these three that are showing right now. We have a really spooky mystery horror one that made me jump out of my skin while I was messing around. All of a sudden, just blah! Yeah, it got me. It got me good. I wasn't expecting Roblox to get me like that, but it did. We also have this one, which is using the Opposer open source files in a whole new map. So, yeah, stay tuned for this one. It'll be showing up later in the video. And we also have a flight simulator one. Controls handle really interestingly. And again, you want to check this out, you're going to have to watch the video. And with that, let's get to it. First off, we're going to start with one of my favorite experiences, Tunneler. Tunneler is based on Portal. Now we got Noodle VR. This is a god hand game in that you troll the non-VR players that you see around. Pick them up, bring them over to a cliff, throw them off, whatever you want to do. Following that, we have Crazy Stairs. Crazy Stairs is that you help non-VR players get to the top of the tower by either building stairs or destroying stairs or making pathways. Oh, next up, we have Edgeworks. Edgeworks is a Bone Labs inspired game where there's physics for everything. The game costs 400 Robux. It's a lot of fun to play. You can control and manipulate pretty much everything you see, or climb on it. Here I am struggling to learn the controls, trying to get up a ladder and bring the crowbar with me. It can take a minute to get the hang of, but the game handles really well. Following that, we have Ray's Mod. This is a Gary's Mod inspired app. Basically, you have full gun controls, you can spawn tons of entities and monsters and meme monstrosities. You have a single player server, a private server, as well as a multiplayer server. Next up, Project SCP. Project SCP, you can choose between either being an SCP that you're catching the humanoids that are trying to escape. Or in this playthrough, I was playing as one of the D class. Basically a prisoner trying to get out without getting killed. Next up, Kit Battle Beta Testing. This is a free-for-all battle arena map. You have swords, guns, suit power-ups, multiple maps that spawn in. And the game handles really well. There's non-VR players in this as well. You have quite the advantage as a VR player. Next up, Energy Assault. Probably the best first-person shooter VR experience you can play on the Quest 2 right now until something like Ares VR comes out. You have skins, you have rewards, you have daily login specials, you have various loadouts, and various maps. In this particular playthrough, I was playing on the destroyed snowy battlefield. Not the best visually stimulating, but you can still get the point across that it's full VR. First-person shooter. Tons of fun. Following Energy Assault, we have Opposer VR. Everyone is familiar with this one. This is one that everyone knows about. There's tons of guns, tons of weapons. You can get a helmet to protect your head. You can get shields. You can get jetpacks and the typical Roblox power-ups as well. Next up, we have Skywinds. Skywinds is a turret-based gunplay game. You have airships and helicopters that are coming in to destroy your castle, and it's up to you to destroy them. You have the option to get power-ups, rapid fire, double damage, as well as getting stronger weapons. Next up, Clashers VR. Join with your friends and defend your little camp against a wave of enemies. You have swords and shields and bows and arrows. Choose your weapon and defend your little encampment. Next up, Nerf Strike. This is a first-person shooter game based on Nerf guns. The gun you start with is a typical single shot, long shot. It's a one-shot kill, one hit, they're dead, And that's that. Following Nerf Striker, we have Tower Defense Simulator. The lobbies are not in full VR mode, but you can find, once you get into one of the maps, that it is in VR. Click on your towers, upgrade them, place them. It's all VR oriented. Very awesome controls, very well done. Next up, VR Hands. This is the original God Hand game. Pick up items, play chess, find ping pong, find non-VR players, and troll them. This is the game that really got it going. Following that, Cook Burgers. This game is absolutely super janky. I don't know how other YouTubers were actually able to play this, because every time you move, you drop the items that you have. I am assuming that that's a bit of a glitch with the Quest 2, but it's still a game. Next up, Neko Infection. You start off as a non-infected player, and you need to defend yourself against the infected players. They're turning into cat people, and they're trying to turn you into cat people. It's just a big game of infection tag. Next up, Bus Simulator. This is one in the chat room. Games for Roblox VR. Every 20 minutes or so, a new event will take place. I'll let you jump in and experience that on your own. Next up, another chat room. This is Mic Up. You can have up to 50 players. It's just a ginormous chat room. It's one of the originals. There's not much to do here except for talk to other Roblox players. Coming up next, VR Islands. VR Islands is another God Hand game. Pick up non-VR players and troll them. The name of this particular game is that you're supposed to cook them. You have stove and an oven, and that's it. Following VR Islands, we have Skid's VR Playground. This game, quote unquote, works for the Quest 2, but as you can see, it's very laggy and very janky. It's definitely a play at your own risk. Next up, Skibid Toilets VR support. Choose between the cameraman, TV man, or speaker man, or one of the big Skibidi toilet monstrosities. It's wave versus wave type game. If you can climb up to one of the toilet's handles, you can flush them down. Nothing much else to say about it. Coming up next, Risky Ropes. This is a web slinger simulator. If you haven't played a web slinger one, basically you aim, you shoot, and you start swinging like Spider-Man. Risky Ropes has about 6 maps. You can play up to 4 players. It's fun, and if you haven't tried a web slinging version of VR, this is definitely a decent one. Next, VR Soundspace Rhythm Game. This is Roblox's Beat Saber. Is it true VR? I don't know. You're really just moving your cursor around to hit the blocks. It's only a one-handed type game, but as the blocks come in to the beat of the music, you hit them. Next up, we have Steam and Steel. This Roblox game costs 200 Robux. Essentially, it's a giant model train simulator. Place down your track, get your train moving, get it from point A to point B, and make the train track any way you want. Here we go, pretty much every bordr game ever. The way this is played is that you either play on the light side or the dark side. You're to help the non-VR players defeat the other non-VR players based on what team they're on. If you are what's known as a brick god, what your job is to do is to fight other brick gods and destroy the non-VR players. Next up, we have VR Tops. This is a very extremely well detailed chat rooms experience. Basically, you're on a very tall plateau. You get to hang out with your friends, enjoy the setting. I believe that we're in Brazil. Next up, please donate. Yes, Please Donate does have VR support in that you can see your VR hands when you're in it, so it technically counts. It technically counts as a VR game. Join in, start up a booth, add your game pass, and who knows, maybe you'll find a content creator that wants to donate to you. Following that, we have VRBLox Draw. Now, this can be a very, 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 very laggy game. Make sure you adjust your quality controls as need be. Basically, pick the color you want to go and then draw wherever you want to draw. And watch me draw a very cringy sub. Or just an S. Next up, Neighbors. Another chat room. Yeah, join in, pick a map, decide if you want to go into US server, and go. Yep, just a standard chat room. Next up, self-driving simulator. This is a very small chat room. There's only up to 6. I believe it's 4 actually. There's only 4 players that can be in one car at one time. All you do is you just sit in your seats and talk while you drive to who knows where. Coming up next, we have simulated virtual reality. Zoom around the map, find non-VR players, and troll them. A lot of interactive items that you can play with. Following that, one of the new ones, Voxel Destruction Physics. This game is just insane. Like, these servers should just be overloaded with all VR players. Basically, you're destroying the environment. You're not here to destroy other players. You're just grabbing various weapons, guns, laser guns, swords, and just destroying everything. The game, it's just a ton of fun, just blowing everything up. It can be whatever you want. Anything and everything that you see. Look at this building as I'm shooting my RPG at it. Just destroying it. Tons of fun. Gotta check this one out. It's probably in my top 5 VR games to play right now for the Quest 2 on Roblox VR. Next up, we have VR Sandbox. This game is slightly bugged on the Quest 2, but essentially when it does work, you pick your item and you start drawing whatever you want to draw or make or build. It's a true God hand simulator. You can make ginormous towers. Like all of these structures and everything would have been created by players. So you pick the item that you would like to start working on, or the vacuum if you want to clean it up, and then you go to town and start building. Next up, VR support. Where am I? This is a liminal space game, in that if you don't know what liminal space is, that's when it seems like you've been here at one point in your life, but you're not 100% sure. It's almost like a deja vu. Maybe it's something that you've seen in a dream. Along dark hallways. It's just, I would say it's closer to a chat room. Just explore with your friends. It's a very unfinished experience, but it is an experience that you can check out. Following that, one of the new ones, Sedona Aerobatic Flying. You can fly in a dirigible, a blimp, gyrocopter, the biplane that I'm about to take off in. The controls are a little bit hard to get a hold of, but it is a VR simulator for flying. Very cool. I know that the developer for this game is continuously working on it to improve it. Hopefully one day they'll be able to get flying races going. Very cool. Very cool experience. Definitely worth checking out. You can go into first person mode, or you can go back into third person mode, whatever you prefer for flying. Yeah, when you die, you just teleport back to the main hub where you spawn in. Next up, the road not taken. This is a driving simulator. You get into a car and drive along the road. The controls are really janky, but it's probably the only real VR experience on Roblox VR that you get to play with a car in terms of driving forward and reversing and using your hand controls for steering. Next up, Jungle Bungalows VR. This is true gorilla tag on Roblox VR. It has gorilla tag physics, run with your arms, climb, there's staircases, there's gorilla infection tag with the flaming monkey. The game works. Nothing much more to say about it. Next up, PvP Arena VR VC. So there's a PvP zone down below. You can pick any weapon that you want. You have lightsabers, guns, weapons. It would be cool if there was more players. It's not, the VR aspect of it is that the gun does not quite follow where you're pointing at. You still have to use your laser sight, but you can still snipe people out of the sky. Following that, we have Raise a Ducky. It's Tamagotchi, but it's a duck. You get a duck, you take care of the duck. What more can you ask for? Next up, Nexus VR, R6 dances. Basically, you get to show off what emotes you have. Run around, talk to who you want to talk to. Hey, look, it's one of my followers saying, yo. Next up, VR support, the luxury elevator. Another VR chat room. This game has tons of floors and experience that you get to go to. Basically, find your way over to one of the elevators and then enjoy the ride. It'll take you to different floors. You get to experience different things. It's very Disney Channel oriented. Like in this experience, you can look at the door and watch the Doofenshmirtz tower get destroyed. Next up, Lost Memories, Liminal Spaces. This is another created experience based on a developer's dreams. Following that, Catalog Avatar Creator. Basically, you can look through the entire Roblox store for avatar accessories and see what it might look like on your avatar. There's me. You can also see what is some of the most popular outfits currently available and how much it's been worn by. Worn by 6 million players. Like, holy. I don't think I've ever seen that particular one before, but it is what it is. Next up, LOCOfficial. This is a Uno simulated game. Pick up your cards, try to be the last one out. If you don't, if you did not get all your cards out in time, then you get points. The name of the game is to have no points at all. First game I played, I got lucky and actually won. Next up, Koala Cafe, another VR chat simulator. Join in, get daily login, say hi to other folks. You have to use teleport to get around, and that's it. And another new one, Veitnam VR. This is using an open source version of Opposer VR, so all the guns work. I hope that they had a telekinesis ability at one point, so you don't have to bend over to pick the guns up. But go around, get your guns, and engage in PvP combat. Hopefully more and more people will play this, and then we can get this as popular as Opposer VR. Next up, Club Iris. Club Iris is a ginormous club chat room. Go around, talk to other Roblox players, dance at the floor if you can, and enjoy what it's like to go into a club. Following that, we have Laser Tag R15. Is this a true VR experience? It could be. Basically, you do go in third person view, but wherever you aim, that's where you shoot. The game handles really, really well. It's actually a really awesome first person shooter, and you have an unfair advantage against non-VR players just because you have so much aim control while they're trying to use their mouse or no mouse at all and try to aim and fire. So I have a blast with it in VR. It's definitely worth playing, and I think everybody else should give it a shot as well. Following that, Alone in a Dark House. This is a mind-blowingly scary game, probably the only real horror game that you can play on Roblox VR. Basically, you're trying to solve a murder mystery and avoid a terrifying figure that's walking the halls. It actually made me jump while I was trying to concentrate on this. And here's where I get jumped right now. Just working, trying to get the door. Scary sound. Blah! I just, yeah, it got me pretty good. And that's it. So those are 49 experiences that you can play on Roblox VR. If you need the experience links, they will be in the description. If you have any questions about any of these games, please let me know. Is there any games that I might have missed that aren't clones? Again, let me know, because I would love to review them and check them out and bring them to the rest of the community. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. With that, bye for now.